Hi there. Today we're going to talk about how to reduce your webinar cost. Now, webinars are all the rage and those prices just keep going up and up. So, how do we help bring them back down? Well, I'm going to give you 4 questions you should be asking yourself, 4 questions. And the first one is, do you have realistic expectations of your webinar? You have to understand that when you put out a webinar, it shouldn't be the first thing that people see. Because if it is, your costs are going to skyrocket. When you give your webinar to a cold audience, you might be asking, what is a cold audience? A cold audience is a group of people who have never heard of you, seen you, they haven't followed you, they haven't been on your page. They don't know what you're about. The chances of them opting into your webinar are very, very small. And so you don't want to send your webinar out to them. You instead want to focus on giving your webinar to your warm audience. Now, what is a warm audience? A warm audience is a group of people who have watched your videos, seen your ads, seen your content, and are interacting with you. In some way, they've had some sort of engagement with you. These are the people that you want to be shooting your webinar at. They're the ones who are most likely to watch it. So there are ways of getting your cold audience, if you don't have much of a warm audience, to become a warm audience. And this is by shooting videos and posting them, posting engaging content, and giving freebies. But you have to understand that your expectations for a webinar doing well will not be met if you are only giving them to your cold audience. You need to build a warm audience, and then that is who you target. The second question you should be asking to help you bring down your webinar cost is, do you have a funnel that actually works? Okay, what's a funnel? A funnel is a series of web pages that are linked together with one goal, and that goal is your call to action. In this case, maybe it is book participation in the webinar. Sometimes it's book a call, sometimes buy a product. It really depends on what you're trying to sell. But in our cases, we're talking about webinars. It would be attend the webinar. And you've got to ask yourself with your funnel if you've set up your pixel correctly. Now, for those of you who are very new to this, have no idea what a pixel is. A pixel is given out by Facebook, by the Meta group, and you put it on every web page. Why do you do this? Because it helps track who has been on your page, who has clicked, who has engaged, how they have engaged. In that way, you can begin to build a list of potential leads. And every time that someone clicks on something, that's called a conversion. Now, an average conversion rate is 20%. For coaches, I like to see it go up to 50%. How do you calculate what that percentage is? You go over to your Facebook manager, you look at how many conversions you've had, you divide that by the number of clicks, and there you have your conversion rate. Well, what do you do if your conversion rate is really low? Let's say it's lower than 20%. That means that your cost is going way, way up. Okay, what do you do then? Well, there are ways to fix it. And the number one thing that you need to be looking at is if you've kept the scent between your ad and your funnel, or your ad and your page. Why does this matter? Because when people click on your ad, they are looking at what are you offering, what are your bullet points, what are your copies, what is your branding, what are the promises that you are making, what is your message? And if they go over to your funnel or to your website and they do not see the same thing, they're not going to click. And the reason why they won't click is because they don't trust what you're selling at that point. You have to be consistent. So take a look at those two things. If they don't match up well, you need to make some changes. Now, I promised you 4 questions. We're on our third. The third question is, do you have amazing copy? Okay, what do I mean by copy? Copy is copywriting. It's the words that we use in advertising in order to help people understand the value of what you are offering. Now, a lot of people make mistakes because they want to go the old way of selling, and it just does not work anymore, especially in the climate of our country today. People are less and less trustful of business owners and of authors. So you want to tell your story. You want it to be personal. You want it to have maybe some shock value. Maybe you want it to just have a wow factor to it. And it needs to be about you. You need to be telling what happened with you. How did you come up with this idea? Why did this product make a difference in your life? You really need to avoid telling people what to think, why they need you. No, the number one reason why is because if you put the word you in your ad over and over and over, the chances of Facebook completely denying any access for your ad to be seen is pretty high. And the best way to fix that is to change it out and give a personal story. So you want to focus on your perspective and think about it. Even if you sold something like home repairs, nothing wrong with home repairs, but let's say that that's what you're selling is home repairs. They say, well, anybody can fix a roof, but does everyone have the same story as you do? Does everyone have the same story of how they got into the business, why they're doing the business, how they're interacting with customers? It's your personality that makes what you are selling special. The other thing that you want to think about when you're doing copy is that you want to hook them in with your very first words. They have a choice whether they're going to read what you have. And when you're talking about a online platform like Facebook and Instagram, they have a plethora of things that they could scroll right past you to see. So how are you going to capture their attention? And the purpose of the copy is to get them reading line to the next line to the next line until they finally opt in. If you don't have copy that's working, it's going to be really hard to sell your ads. Now, your fourth and final question that you need to be asking yourself about how to reduce your webinar cost is if you have a tripwire. Now, what in the world is a tripwire? It doesn't mean that we're going to fall over something on the ground and fall down. No, this is something that is tripped or set off when they get to your thank you page. After your customer has purchased your offer, you go to a thank you page. And on that thank you page, you are going to offer them an upsell. And you're going to sell it with some urgency. Something like, oh, this is a one-time offer or limited supply. Something to get them thinking that maybe now is a very good time to buy this. These upsells can be anywhere from $10 to $90 and up. And what's interesting is that studies have shown that about 10% of your purchasing customers will purchase an upsell if it is related to what they are buying, it is sensible to them, and it's something that they desire. Now, this is very important to people like coaches and other small business owners because what it does is it gives you a steady, passive income, a way to make money without really trying to make money. And with what you make from that, it's usually enough to cover your ad cost. So you're not having to invest more than you're bringing in. I really hope that you found this video helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You can contact me at lisa@idajosephinemarketingsolutions.com. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.